Hello, everyone, and thanks for checking out the newest episode of the Fifth Quarter Show Seasons. It has been a very cool ride thus far, and we've only scratched the surface on the excitement that the Hamilton Tiger Cats have provided to its generation of fans. Listen, there have been some low points as well. We can't sugarcoat that, and part of today's episode will touch on one of the most challenging times in the history of this franchise. Today on the Fifth Quarter Show Seasons, I will profile 1943. The Hamilton Tigers won their fifth Grey Cup championship in 1932, the same year that the high-level bridge opened in Hamilton. But the Tigers lost to Winnipeg in the 1935 Grey Cup in Hamilton, which turned out to be the last time that the Tigers would play in the title game. From 1936 to 1940, the Tigers never had a winning season and only made the playoffs once. Off the field during this time, the Westdale Theatre opened in 1935, and a Royal Canadian Air Force Base was created in 1940 at the Mount Hope Airfield, now known as the John C. Munro International Airport. In 1941, the Tigers did not play in the Interprovincial Rugby Football Union because so many players on the team joined the Army and went overseas to fight in the Second World War. The IRFU canceled its seasons in 1942, 43, and 44. However, the Ontario Rugby Football Union continued to play its games during the war, and a team in Hamilton was formed to play in the league. The people behind it wanted to call the team the Tigers, but they were denied. So they chose the name Wildcats, and instead of wearing a black and gold uniform, the Wildcats were dressed in red and white. Fielding a team that included a number of Tigers alumni, the Wildcats went 5-0-1 in their inaugural season in 1941, but they lost 7-2 against the Ottawa Rough Riders in the Eastern Final. The Wildcats had a record of 6-4 the following season, but failed to make the playoffs. In 1943, the Wildcats welcomed a number of players who were with the Royal Canadian Air Force, and the club was officially referred to as the Hamilton Flying Wildcats. And boy, did they ever take flight. The Flying Wildcats went 8-1-1 in the ORFU. They beat the Toronto Balmy Beach Beachers 7-2 in the ORFU final, edged Lachine RCAF 7-6 in the Eastern Final, and grounded the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 23-14 in the Grey Cup. In doing so, the Flying Wildcats became the third team from Hamilton to win a National Rugby Football Championship, following the Tigers' 5 Grey Cups and the Hamilton Alerts, who did it in 1912. The Flying Wildcats returned to the Grey Cup in 1944, but a repeat was not meant to be. Hamilton lost 7-6 in the final against St. Hyacinthe. When the war ended in 1945, the IRFU restarted, and the players who were once with the Tigers left the Wildcats, who also dropped flying from their name because the RCAF personnel left the team as well. The Wildcats had varying degrees of success following the war. They made it to the ORFU final in 1946 and 47, but lost both times. The 1948 and 49 seasons were easily the worst in Wildcats history, as the team struggled on and off the field, and sported a combined record of 1 win, 22 losses, and 1 tie. Now, as for the Tigers, they were dreadful in the 3 seasons following the Second World War, compiling a combined record of 2 wins, 20 losses, and 2 draws. But they rebound mightily in 1948 and 49, going a combined 19-2. But the Tigers lost in the Eastern Final in both years, getting shut out by Ottawa 19-0 in 1948, and they were blasted 40-0 by the Montreal Alouettes in the following season. Off the field, as the 1940s were drawing to a close, and with 2 teams now operating in Hamilton at the same time, both franchises were struggling financially. And it was clear that something had to change. And that something turned out to be massive. There's nothing like a good cliffhanger, so I will tackle that next on the Fifth Quarter Show Seasons. And as I said off the top, it's been one hell of a fun ride so far. It's only going to get better, in my opinion, from here on in. Thanks for watching this video and all the others on this channel as well. Click the subscribe and thumbs up buttons. Leave a comment as well. I respond to each and every one. And tell your family, your friends, your coworkers, whoever is a Ticats or a CFL fan about the Fifth Quarter Show on YouTube. Until next time, Oski Wee Wee.